Hello ladies and gents, welcome to a new night point of view review. In front of us is the new Renault Megane E-Tech electric. So this is the 60 kilowatt hour battery with strongest front wheel drive. It's one single electric motor producing 160 kilowatts or 220 horsepower. If we unlock the car, you can see the little gimmick of the front headlights, and I can turn them on with a remote. Now also you can see maybe not the Puddle lights, Renault badge. We're sitting on 20-inch alloys. You can also spec 18. It's pretty comfortable and soft suspension. You can see the back. If I unlock, you can see the dynamic turn signals. And if we press here, this one's manual. You can see the cargo space, very deep, 440 liters of cargo space, 1,332 if you knock down the seats. There's extra room at the bottom for cables. Now keyless entry, so I'm just gonna keep the key in my pocket. Inside you're greeted with this animation, which is pretty cool, but you can turn it off in the infotainment if you get bored of it. So let me just settle in here. Now, so Megane Electric, you probably saw the new infotainment powered by Google. Overall, very nice. I've tested this in the Astral, and I really love this infotainment. It's nice and fast, informative, up to date, I would say. Very good on the level that Tesla has set up, very close. So I'm really pleased with that. Just to show you here, for some reason the glove compartment doesn't have a light. Not sure really why. You can see front ambient lights, unfortunately no on the back, and this area at the bottom is lit up. Let me just share some light here. Now there's a start stop button, so press that, car comes to life, and I think I can turn these off now. So just a moment actually. So you can see the dash. There is this room at the bottom, has ambient lights, and if you change driving modes, we're in comfort, there's eco. This definitely will give you better power consumption and extend your range slightly. I think on eco it reduces your AC control. You can see lights change, and then you can go here to personal. You can configure that. You can configure the engine. You can have normal, sport, or eco. Steering also low, medium, or high resistance. So high resistance gives you more precise steering, and vehicle dynamics, normal, comfort, or sport. And then you have this life on board, so you can change the climate to eco or normal, light intensity, and ambient lights, so you can have them switch after some time. Or personal, you can choose any color your heart desires. So let me just switch these off. You can see that a little bit better, so that's pretty cool. Okay, also the lights change the color here and here, so I'm gonna keep it in comfort, and when we get to the highway we're gonna jump to the sport. And just to show you here before we start, electric, you can see the energy flow and consumption is 16.4. that's some sort of average. It's supposed to be by WVLTP around 16. And here you can see battery, I'm currently at 60%. It's recommended to charge daily to 80 or 90. If you put this to 100%, it's going to give you a message, once or permanent, but it's going to stay at 100 if you say permanent. When you charge a car to 100%, let me picture this for you. Imagine a balloon. At 100%, it's full, almost ready to burst. And if you leave it charge 100% and don't drive the car immediately or deflate the balloon, it's not good for the batteries. It's seriously degrading your battery. So always, when you charge to 100%, drive off, or rather, for your battery's sake, charge it to 95 if you're not going to drive immediately. So that's just, this is the lithium ion battery, but still it's not recommended to charge it always to 100%. And that's it. Here's some settings for the sounds car makes for the pedestrians and driving eco. So just to show you this, I'm sitting here stationary, so this is not relevant, but I got a score here, and I've managed to get it to let me see here, history, journey. I saved it to personal, so 13.1 kilowatts. That's what I've got. Let me just get this a little bit colder because I'm in a winter jacket. It's cold outside. Actually, it's not that cold, but still. Okay, we can drive off. I'm gonna explain the rest while driving. And another note, car has recuperation paddles, and it's always going to reset them to medium. There's 4 levers of recuperation, and there's a stock here for the drive. So if you put the car to reverse, you might hit the wipers, so you need to get a little bit used to. And very good parking system. Now we're gonna put it to drive and drive off. Let me just turn the wipers on. So the camera will just reset when I start driving. Now don't worry, I haven't forget some music. Now I can't play it for too long, not to get a copyright strike, so I have to mute it. But Harman Kardon speakers are very good, not bad, compared to the standard speakers, but I've heard better sound. In my Tesla, I'm a Tesla Model 3 owner, long range, so I have really excellent speakers, one of the best speakers on the market. I'm not saying this is bad, but I'm saying there are better systems. But you won't be sorry if you pick Harman Kardon. Okay, now back to a little bit of technical details. So I told you this is the strongest version with 220 horsepower and a 60 kilowatt-hour battery. Now there is 130 horsepower version with 60 kilowatt-hour battery. This is going to give you the most range probably. And there is 130 horsepower version with 40 kilowatt-hour battery, smaller battery. But I personally wouldn't pick that. I would go for the big battery, less horsepower, or this version with the big battery and more horsepower. This is, as I've mentioned, front wheel drive. There's a single electric motor on the front, and there is no frunk. Okay, so overall, I gotta say immediately that this is very nice tuned car. It is not too heavy for the compact size, and it's really fun and comfortable to drive. Now 220 horsepower, you know, it's just enough for comfortable driving in this comfort mode. And then in a sport mode, it's slightly faster, and it's enough for this size. Now if it had more horsepower, it would be nice and quick like a Tesla, but really you don't need that in reality. I'm telling you this as a Tesla owner. I personally never drive the car like a maniac. Yes, it drives 0 to 100 in, you know, 4.4 seconds, but I really don't use that you know, feature so often. Okay, there's a traffic light, and yeah, the mirror part here is a blind spot, A-pillars as well. So when it's raining you can see reflection, but when it's not, it's an issue, definitely. Now, also something I need to emphasize. If you're looking for an electric car, you have to have in mind that relying on public charging stations is a hassle. So I wouldn't advise you to buy an electric car, and I'm saying this from experience. I don't have a garage or, you know, an outlet. I just park in a public parking space outside my building. I live in a condo, and you know, it's a hassle. So ideally, if you're looking for an electric car, save yourself some trouble. Don't buy it if you don't have an outlet. Charging on public charging stations is pricey, and prices per kilowatt are quite expensive when you compare home tariff, especially the night tariff, which is cheaper. So have that in mind. This is very economical if you have a garage and a home outlet. Okay, acceleration. Wow, I did not want to accelerate that fast. Actually, I was looking at the percentage of acceleration. I didn't saw the speed of. Yeah, so of course we're gonna drive according to the speed limits. In Croatia we have a 10% tolerance, so we can drive like 10 kilometers faster than the speed limit. But yeah, you can see the car just in the normal chill mode, or excuse me, the comfort mode is super fast. In sport it's even slightly faster. Really fun. Now suspension, yes, we're sitting on 20-inch alloys, but we have, you know, nice and wide tires, and suspension is really comfortable. I would say more comfortable than in my Tesla Model 3 long range. I've tested the standard range, and I'm just comparing this because the standard range has also one electric motor, and Tesla is on the back, but it's a lighter car, and this is nice and light car, so it's very comfortable and it really feels good. Also, if you go into the corners a little faster, it's heavy because of the battery, has a lower center of gravity, and it's very stable and it feels nice. Since it's a front-wheel drive, you won't be able to drift or something like that, but it is stable. It's more safer, excuse me. So excellent. Now recuperation, I put it to max at this moment, and then you can, you know, almost drive one pedal. But it brings me to this. Okay, there's no one behind me. So the car is going forward around 10 kilometers per hour, and if you want to stop at the traffic light, you need to press the brake, which for me personally as a Tesla owner doesn't have sense, because, and I'm sorry if I'm comparing this to a Tesla, I'm just sharing some experience, because this is a good electric car, but it could be better. For me personally, it's more logical to let the car, if you let go of the accelerator, to stop fully and not go forward like the classical automatic. Tesla can do that, but by default setting it doesn't, it stops. So you can drive fully one pedal. With this you can't, you need to press the brake, and then the gap between pressing the brake, it's not really smooth. You're gonna see when I stop eventually at a traffic light, there's like a little clunk sound, and just you have to like press the brake deep enough to hit the sensor, which engages the auto hold, which is kind of dumb for me because it just doesn't make sense. It's not a seamless experience. So at that part I'm not really happy, but the rest is actually really nicely tuned. Now if you're watching my Austral video, if you're a regular audience, you might notice that the screen is going like brighter and dimmer. It's on automatic setting, so I don't know, there's a light sensor probably, and then it just sometimes decides to, you know, increase it or decrease it, so it's not malfunctioning. Yeah, in my day point of view, this is flashing. It's only on camera, it's not in person, so don't worry, the screens are excellent. See, I can see the traffic light here. Okay, yeah, if I let go now, the car is stationary, but I need to apply the brake, and sometimes at this time I think you didn't hear that sound, but there's like this just gap between. It's not nice. Okay, 60 kilowatt hour battery. It's supposed to give you 470 kilometers by WLTP, which is not realistic, or you really need to drive super slow to get that number. In some ideal conditions, when it's really warm, drive. But I had it when I charged 100%, a little less than 300 kilometers estimate. I think that changed on the driving style, but in reality you should get 300 to 350 kilometers of range, at least like 370 maybe, if you take in the calculation the 16 kilowatt hour power consumption per 100 kilometer. Now it's starting to rain. Well, it's okay. We're gonna come to the highway. We're going there. We're gonna check outside the city the LED headlights. We have the automatic long beam. See, I was talking, so you probably didn't hear that. There's like a little when you need to apply the brake for auto hold to engage. Otherwise, it's actually really good. Now, just a little note, there's like heated seats here and heated steering wheel. I like the fact you have physical AC controls at the bottom. The infotainment is nice and it is intuitive, more or less. So what else? Well, yeah, the steering actually in this standard setting is fairly precise. If you go to sport mode, it gets more precise, and you can make it really light, so on parking maybe it's easier. I don't like that setting when I'm driving. It's maybe too sensitive. I like more feedback and more direct steering when I'm driving at higher speeds. Now yeah, there's Apple CarPlay, but for some reason my phone didn't connect. Not really sure. We're gonna see when I stop at the garage at the end if I can cut that in. Let me see just a little bit here, show you. You can see the energy flow. So this is when I'm accelerating. And then if I let go, you can see that the car is feeding the battery. And over here at the bottom you can press to the consumption. You can see the current trip. So we're kind of averaging around that 16. Now I love the instant torque in electric cars. They're so much better than classical ICE cars. There's some manholes I'm gonna hit on purpose so you can hear. This was a big one. So very comfortable passing it over. So yeah. And now you're gonna see here we're deaccelerating. Not sure how fast it shows on the computer there. And let's see our driving coach. So it's raining. We need to keep driving it because it's currently high and our score has dropped, obviously. Okay, yep, you hear that little so that could be better, but overall I'm really impressed. The car is super nice. Now the seats, driver's seat has a lumbar support, passenger doesn't, but the seats are generally comfortable. I like them. I don't have too many complaints on the interior. Maybe on the back the roof is slightly going down for aerodynamics, so there's not enough headspace for taller persons such as myself, but generally for average height it's good. Cargo space is deep. A really nice car overall. Going to the highway, also you can do really nice U-turn with this car. It's quite good. And let me just show you here a little bubble. There's like radio, eco monitor, tire pressure. Odometer, I just passed 10,000 kilometers in 10. You can see current consumption and average consumption, and you can have it off. Okay, okay, we're gonna speed up in this comfort, and then I'm gonna switch to the sport. I'm gonna be gentle because it's raining, and I've already tried accelerating once faster, and it kind of slipped, and then it got the grip. See? Whoa, it's slipping. So you need to be gentle. There's a lot of force in the electric motor. It just speeds up nicely. 130, 140, 150. So that was just a little demonstration here. Let me just press sense, go to sport. So I'm just driving 100 now, or 90. So you can hear the, well, you can hear tires in rain. At higher speeds you can hear wind noise coming from the big side mirrors. Let me speed up once more, all the way. And slowing down. So driving 130. Set the cruise. Not too noisy. Back to comfort. That is also eco. Just kind of numb. So I'm not sure why the adaptive cruise got disconnected, but let me just, nope. Oh, maybe in eco it's comfort. Yeah, apparently it's eco mode. So we're gonna keep it 100 here. Now, lane assist, you know, it's not perfect. It sometimes bounces you back in the middle. You need to hold your hands on the steering wheel. Don't get too comfortable, especially in the bends. It's not perfect, but it could be better. Now, the headlights performance is amazing, I gotta say. Okay, the long beam is better, but it's okay. We're gonna see the outside city performance, and let me show you here views. So I can have this like this, and I can show you here maps. If you turn the side here, you can see that, or like that. And then over here you can switch to third option. You can see the speedo in the middle, but if you add the trip computer or something else, then it's on the side. I like it in the middle like this. It's more minimalist, but you can see the distance. So if I go to the classical with the bubbles, then you can see the car, lanes, and so on. You can change here the distance. The cruise settings are very simple. It marks the speed. It just offers you to set the speed that it's reading, and very good to use overall. Yeah. Now, soundproof, I was driving today and it was like slightly windy, but I think it's okay up to, you know, 130, 140, also 150. It's a little bit noisy, but it's actually quite good because the car is low. On the Austral it was quite windy because it's an SUV. Austral, yeah, I'm not sure which is correct pronouncing. Anyways, the car really feels excellent, and I really like it. Personally, I like this little car. It's quite fun, and I've tested the Zoe. I was okay, but this and the Austral is the best build quality in Renault so far. so definitely better than the Megane Clio, Captur, and so on. They really, you know, stepped up a notch, and I'm really happy that they stepped up with the infotainment, because the infotainment is finally nice and fast, responsive, because previous infotainments were always, you know, in car industry in general, very laggy, until Tesla came up and decided, like, hey, let's put a, you know, computer in a car and make it, you know, user-friendly, more faster, because we have now mobile phones which are computers. They're nice and fast. Why not put it into the car? Before, they were like really saving a lot of money on that. Now here's a speed limiter as well. You can put that. See, I don't like the lane assist. It keeps pushing me slightly to the right, and it's not comfortable, to be honest. So I can set the speedo here to, let's say 90, since it's 80. I have that tolerance. So when I speed up, the car will limit me. So if there's like police radar or something, I'm fine. I'm inside the tolerance. Okay, I completely forgot. There's a mirror behind me, and it's kind of a narrow view. I'm not sure if you can see it. I adjusted for myself, so usually you can't see it from the camera angle, but there's a screen here, and then you can see it definitely. Since the back view is a bit narrow, or the back window, you can see further behind you, but it's not the best view. So with the camera, it gives you nice and wide overview behind you, so it's pretty good. And you know, you're not really tall in this car, but there's a good overview around you because you have really big side mirrors. But I think they could have made them slightly smaller, because they're creating a lot of wind resistance. And I've mentioned the A pillars in the middle, or the part around the middle mirror. It's just slightly, you know, not the best. It's a blind spot. They actually added a lot of plastic here, which was maybe not necessary, to be honest. But you know, it is what it is. Yeah, I'm trying to think if I've missed something. Okay, I did mention this if you're watching the review, but just in case you didn't and you stumble upon this video first. So this car has AC charging 22 kilowatt hours. So onboard charger is faster. It's not just 11, it's 22 kilowatts, which allows you to charge fast on the AC. If you're charging on DC, max charging speed is 130 kilowatts. So for this smaller battery, that's enough. And most of, you know, high performance chargers are up to 150. You know, newer generations are, you know, 250, 350. It's supposed to come to 400 in the near future, and it's going to probably develop faster. This is a 400 volt architecture, so there's also 800 volt, but this is yeah, this is Tesla. Nice. Always love to see a Tesla on the road. But this is, yeah, 400 architecture. Yeah, I'm trying to find another con here, but besides that, no, there's no light there. They really should have added that, and the ambient lights on the back. I mean, it's such a beautiful thing to have ambient lights. I don't have them in my Tesla. I really regret that they didn't add that. But you know, Renault really, I have to say, they really nailed it with this car, and I'm looking forward to seeing this infotainment in other cars. Also looking forward to seeing them build more electric cars, because this really drives nice. It really does. Oh, there's a Tesla Model X just passed behind me. Interesting. Seeing so many Teslas today. Okay, we're gonna see performance of the LED headlights. So there's a car in the distance, so I don't want to flash him. But I'll have to, because you heard that. Okay, let me show you the so this is the long beam, and this is a standard beam. This is a GoPro 9. I'm gonna switch to the iPhone because it has a better sensor, light sensor, so it gives you more accurate picture. So this is iPhone camera, normal beam, and then a long beam. It also turns on when you speed up or slow down and shrinks. So if I speed up, long beam turns on, and then if I slow down, it turns off. And a little bend here. So watch the corner. I have cornering fog lights. So I know you want to see a navigation as well, so let me just here yep, that's my destination. I want to go. Start.
Avenue Mall may be closed by the time you arrive.
Thank you, I know that. So also very informative Google. Yeah, you can also press here to have full screen, at least on the main screen, and it zooms in, tells you time for your arrival, how much battery you're gonna arrive there as well, the bottom. It also knows that there's a roundabout. Now let me just show you here. If I go to the middle and let's say I want to here check my driving, so we're still kind of high. I did like try to speed up there for you, but just in case, you know, you can see both. I really like this one in the middle. We're gonna keep it classic. So time to sum up the impressions. Yeah, this is really an excellent compact EV. Really comfortable, drives nicely, doesn't spend too much power. No, I haven't tested on the highway that much, but I think it was going towards 17 kilowatts an average. I will try to get this car separately to do 300 kilometer trip, so subscribe to the channel if you want to see that. Yeah, but generally like really few cons, perhaps. No car is perfect, but generally really pleased, and I think you're gonna be pleased with the car. Now price wise, well, this car, let me just take out that price tag that I forgot from the top of my head because a lot of cars on test. Yeah, 53,000 euros and entry price 48. What to say? Generally, you know, electric cars are more expensive, and governments have started to lower the incentives because they're slightly starting to become mainstream, I guess. Now, price is not competitive, I gotta say, because Tesla has dropped their prices. Even today, they dropped it even more. You can get the entry Model 3 for, I think it's like 42,000 euros. So it's cheaper than this car, which is kind of ridiculous. And I know that for Renault and the rest of the legacy car industry, it's going to be hard to keep up because they don't have the margins like Tesla does. Tesla has, you know, secured their resources on the long term, and you know, they're at least 10 years ahead in making electric cars. So if you're really a Renault fan and you want to buy this car, you're not going to be disappointed. Okay, thank you, Google. Yeah, you're not going to be disappointed, definitely not. But you know, it's a competitive market, let's say it that way. So I'm not just going to go too much into details. Don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to, you know, convince you to buy a Tesla, but when you are comparing, they're just more competitive. Now you can hear the sound this car is making, and winter tires. Now let me just show you something. I'm gonna drive in circles here just to show you something. Now there's a charging station there, but we don't need it. This one's being paid. Okay, I think it went over a plastic bottle. Electric settings, neutral. Now I'm gonna switch to pure. And now expressive. So this expressive is interesting. You can hear it now, actually. Now pure. And now neutral. Yeah, both of these are really not that acoustic. The expressive is, I like the maybe pure one. It's the most silent one. Honestly, I personally like silent cars. I when it comes to electric, I don't like, you know, pedestrian warning systems, because I enjoy the quietness of the electric car, if that makes sense. But you know, it is what it is. So let me just park here. I think this is okay. Also, let me show you just reverse cameras. Okay, I'll go out, clean the cameras, and then show you how good it is. Even now you can see everything really good with the droplets, but stay with me. I'm gonna put it to park, come back, power off. Also, there's a wireless charger here for a phone I didn't use at this drive. Now let me just show you that. And also you can see the car, well, the garage is now at saving mode. They actually just lowered the power consumption. They did that before the inflation and everything. So let me just wipe those off for you, because it's a really good, you know, camera system there. Also you can see those on both ends, Puddle lights, really cool detail there. Let me just wipe this one as well. Okay, let's get back in, because in my day point of view the screen was flashing. It was terrible, so, which is a shame, because this is an excellent screen. It's just not on the camera fun. And reverse. Actually, I didn't start the car, or did I? No, I did start it. Confusing. This is why I don't like the start stop, or just power button, excuse me. They did call it power, not start stop like some other car manufacturers. Reverse. There we go. Okay, didn't clean it perfectly, but you can see that, so I can go a little bit backwards. Now if you change, you can see the camera moves. It gives you really precise angles, and you can see the back. Now if I go to drive, it switches to the front camera, also everything here, front view, and over here you can see the sides. So if you move the wheel, you can see the tire here, so you can watch not to curb your wheels. And there's a 360. Look at this, really excellent looking, but they didn't add the correct avatar color. In general, I think all the car avatars are white, so if you pick a white car without the black roof, it's gonna be matching. Yeah, and well, what else? When you back to the wall, it actually switches at the angle. So and let me just park next to this wall here just to show you here what happens. See, there's like a camera here, small camera that pops out. So that's pretty cool. And now if you would come to a wall, it shows you on the back. So let me just demonstrate something here. Let's see if it happens when I come to a front wall. Yeah, there you go. Same for the front camera and rear camera. So that's pretty cool. Let me just check my surroundings. That's pretty cool, to be honest. And my Tesla doesn't have that. So this car has, you know, its features that are really good. And this is why I'm saying this really isn't a bad car. Now, if you're looking for long distance travel, you know, you'll have to rely on chargers, and Tesla is opening their supercharger network slowly. So also it shouldn't be a problem. Definitely you can use the Ionity as well. Yeah, and I haven't forget, so to show you Apple CarPlay, here you can see it's like an iPad with these big icons. It works nice and fast. You can use Waze in this case and some other apps. So you can also use PlugShare to find charging station, a better route planner. Excellent app. Let me just see if how it works. Actually, I don't have it on Tesla. Okay, it's a premium feature. I don't have the premium. Excellent app if you want to check how much range you can get realistically, because this relies on user data, on real data. So you can always check. It's a free app. You can always check, at least on your phone. You can always check all the car models and type in destination, and it's going to tell you really accurately how much you can get range with your car, and how many stops you need to do, and so on. Let me just test one more feature here. So it doesn't give you charging stops. It says here you would definitely not make it at 50%. Add a charging stop. So it gives you here first, second option. There are plenty of options here, but it just doesn't show them. But there's a petrol charging station, an electric vehicle. Okay, let me just see here. It tells you have a 50 kilowatt hour. There's definitely faster charging options below here, but I guess you wouldn't make it that far, so that's why it's not showing there. But it tells you how much percentage you would get there. This one's also 50. Incompatible. What? It should be compatible. Let me just see here. One moment. This here says it's compatible, so not really sure what's the deal with that. But yeah, there we go. I was detailed because I like to give you all the information, and I just wanted to share some you know, also experience as a Tesla owner, as an EV owner. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, be a cool person, give it a like, leave a comment below. If I have any questions, check the links for the technical details, and it would really help me if you would share this video on Renault forums, or you know, with other people who are looking at this car. And I'm just gonna do a little walk around. to show you the car. So just to show you, if you lock the car, it does that gimmick. I'm not sure why this fan's on. I guess they're ventilating the garage. You can see that. And let me just show you from the back here. I'm not sure if there's any gimmick when you unlock the car. Yeah, it kind of starts to increase the brightness. So if you lock the car, I guess it does the same. That's pretty cool. So, and I can turn on, really love the connected lights. Cool puddle lights as well. Projections. Well, it's not showing them for some reason at the moment, but yeah, but you saw those when I've opened the car, but just once again, maybe. No? Okay, I don't know, there's some, I guess, condition to turn those on or off. Thank you for watching. Stay safe. Hope to see you in the next video. Bye.